Hey, what is going on, you bewitched bee barrels? Today we're playing some games with Spiritomb, and I haven't felt, or I don't think I have changed any cards in this deck for like 2 sets, I want to say. The one thing I did change actually recently is I saw a list do well over the weekend that played Energy Spinner, and I thought that was really cool addition to the deck because you do play Jirachi and you Stellar Wish quite a bit. Now, you don't play 4 Jirachi in the deck because it's so easy to find with the level ball and the quick balls, and you don't really want ever to have 2 Jirachi in play, so not a super high Jirachi count, but you do use Stellar Wish quite a bit. So having that option to find like an Energy Spinner off Stellar Wish to get your energy for turn could be, you know, a game changer. So I liked that. So I cut a basic energy out for the Energy Spinner. But besides that, I feel like Spiritomb hasn't changed too much in the last couple set releases, but I do feel like it is a really strong play right now. I'm a huge fan of Spiritomb overall as a deck. So I thought I'd bring some Spiritomb action to you guys, let you guys know that I think it is a really strong play in the current format. You should definitely check it out if you haven't checked it out before, or if you kind of put it away and haven't really thought about bringing it back out yet because you weren't sure, you know, where it stands in the meta. But I think it's pretty good right now because the format is not many other one prize decks to compete against it. And then you got, of course, the most popular deck is Weak to Dark in the Shadow Rider, so that's always going to be a plus for Spiritomb. And then everything else is basically a VMAX deck, and it is really easy to tech for Spiritomb, but no one's doing it. There's not Tool Jammers and Tool Scrappers, and even like the Ice Rider builds aren't really playing many, if any, of the Chilling Rain Inteleon. Of course, something like the Urshifu VMAX Inteleon deck is going to be a bad matchup, but that's one deck that, you know, doesn't make up the whole meta, and it's definitely not one of the most popular decks in the meta. So yeah, I think Spiritomb is in a pretty good spot right now. So let's go ahead and let's play some games. All right, here we go. We're going second in this first one. Going second is usually actually fine with Spiritomb because we can actually get some pretty big knockouts on that first turn. Our opening hand is it's a little bit awkward, I guess. We're probably just gonna have to Dead Age change. We're up against a Shadow Rider deck, which of course, like I mentioned in the intro, it's a pretty good matchup for us. They are weak to dark. We do have to be careful of their ability to KO multiple Spiritombs with Astral Barrage. So I do have to be a little bit careful with my damage, but like I said, no one really plays Tool Scrapper, so we know they probably won't have that at all for us to worry about. We don't really have to worry about anything like Tool Scrapper, so that's good as well. And let's see, we get another cape. Okay, that was a pretty bad top deck because we don't want to. The capes are super important in this matchup because of that Astral Barrage. The capes can be super important because of that. I mean, I could go with, we're going to attach this, build spy. I could retreat to Marshadow and then Birdkeeper back to the active, I guess. Or I could just Dead Age change, and I'm leaning towards, yeah, just going with Dead Age change and letting everything else go. Get a fresh hand to work with. That has absolutely nothing. Well, this is not good at all. We can retreat. We could actually do a lot of damage to the Calyrex VMAX. We could go retreat, Escape Rope, but then we drew absolutely nothing else to work with, so I guess we're just gonna go ahead and hit for 200 damage. They live with just 10 HP, and I guess we're hoping to top deck here, I guess, because that was not at all what we wanted. We wanted a little bit more. If we'd gotten like a Jirachi or something, we could have gone like retreat to Jirachi, scoop up net the Jirachi after we Stellar Wish, then Escape Rope back into the Jirachi, and then get another scoop up net or switch off the Jirachi, move that, and then we would have been able to actually KO this Calyrex because we would have been able to build up more damage on our Spiritomb. Unfortunately, we drew how we did, and our hand is just kind of dead. I mean, we do have the Spikemuth in the hand, which is going to be a good thing to be able to replace. That's something we definitely want to constantly keep up and putting in play is the stadiums. But besides that, we don't have a whole ton going on here, but maybe my opponent doesn't either, actually. Okay, so we're in a little bit of a you got nothing, I got nothing scenario. Setting up the Trevnor. We did get another Escape Rope, so I could go retreat. No, if I go escape, well, I guess I can't retreat the Escape Rope, but that doesn't really do anything. I think I'm just gonna retreat. Well, I guess I want to Escape Rope, right? Because we can Building Spite, and then Escape Rope. I don't want more damage on my rat, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hold the stadium. So I don't want this to have 4 damage counters and make it easier and easier for to kick out. I'll actually even attach it though, so I can make sure I can move the Dedenne on the following turn potentially. Here we go, Anguish Cry knockout. So neither of us really doing anything. Well, at least I'm attacking. My opponent doing a lot less than I'm doing, which is where we want it to be. And there we go. Jinx and Research out of the prize card, so our hand is good. I didn't put a Spike with and play this turn because if my opponent just like counters it plus Marnie's us, we'd wish we just had another Spike within the deck. We want to like get value out of this stadium as we play it, and there's the concede from my opponent. So both of us having really bad starts. but Spiritomb needs very little to at least be doing something, and we were attacking at the very least, and that's more than enough for this one as we get this first dub over the Shadow Rider. All right, here we go again. I'm gonna go first just because a lot of decks like going first right now, so I also kind of want to go first. It also allows us to just kind of build up some spite. Like here we got double level ball, quick ball, so we can go like triple Spiritomb off the start here and just build up a lot of spite. We can also just go, you know, double Spiritomb and kind of chill with the quick ball in hand. And then we have the what's it called to fall back on. But yeah, pretty good start. I'm gonna go ahead and definitely thin out double Spiritomb. I might just hold the quick ball though, because we don't know if we're gonna, we'll see what the Stellar Wish gives us, because we might need to get something like a Dedenne or a Crobat. Got the Stadium, no draw support or anything yet, so yeah, we might need to use it to get a Crobat or Dedenne, and then we'll go Spiritomb, Cape, Spiritomb, Cape, and then build some spite. And then probably just pass over to my opponent, you know, see what they got going on. We know they got the Sobble. And once again, another thing, like I mentioned, the Inteleon decks, it really does depend on what Inteleon deck we're up against, whether or not we are kind of scared of this Sobble or not. If it is just an Ice Rider build, usually don't play too many sometimes, but it is the Urshifu build, which is something to be scared of for sure. So this matchup is pretty tough, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess start with Stellar Wish. Did find a research, and now we don't need to use this for a whatever it's called. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a whatever it's called instead. Probably just grab the Jinx. I could also grab the Mew here. Actually, Mew's kind of important, so we're gonna grab the Mew here, and then I am gonna escape rope. See what my opponent sends up. Yeah, get the Mew here because we want to play around that G-Max Rapid Flow. Something that can be so devastating to us so early on in these games. Removing like double Spiritombs from play. And it doesn't just like take 2 knockouts. And even if we have a third Spiritomb in play, I mean, that's great. But the problem at that point becomes... Oh, I didn't have the Spike Month in play before I played the Escape Rope. Oops. I was like expecting for the Jinx or the Jirachi to take 2 damage counters, and then I didn't. And it was like, that doesn't seem correct. But that is correct. I made the mistake, and we'll keep cruising. Building Spite. Building Spite. And then I actually might retreat into this one. I think we're just gonna go like retreat and then switch back. But yeah, this should have 2 damage counters. The draw should have 2 damage counters on it. I think I'd want it there. I don't think there's ever a situation where I'd be like, no, I don't want more damage in play on my Spiritombs. Or there's very few situations. This early on when it has a cape, I would like it to have more damage counters. All right. KO this Pissimian, and then yeah, we'll see what our opponent gets from here. We got, like I said, we got the Mew on the bench set up, so that's great, preventing our opponent from, you know, using the G-Max Rapid Flow this turn, which is like super devastating in this matchup, and that's like the thing we're like really scared of. But it can be, I don't want to say easy for our opponent to get around our Mew, but I mean, they got the Inteleons with the quick shooting, and they can always just boss knock it out easily, find boss through the Drizzile as well sometimes, and just bring it up, knock it out, and that forces us, we do play 2 Ordinary Rods, but I mean, we need the Ordinary Rod plus a way to find the Mew again. It's not as simple as, oh, we play Ordinary Rods, there's no reason they should chase our Mew. Them chasing our Mew is just fine, usually a correct route to take, and can put us in quite a bit of trouble. Here they grab a Sobble, actually quick balling away the VMAX, so this makes me think they plan to use 100, oh my gosh, giving up 2 VMAXs. They're going to use 100 Furious Blows. If we knock this thing out, we're going to be in a ridiculously good spot this turn, this game. Yeah, my opponent's like going all in on just making sure they can get the knockout this turn with 100 Furious Blows. Maybe they plan to strafe, but even then, they don't have a VMAX to evolve it into anytime in the future, and this thing is doing that much more damage. So if I just have a boss, I just knock this thing out. So we'll see, but I feel like they're gonna go with the 100 Furious Blows here, just try and get the knockout and go from there. But I feel like it puts them, it sets them up in like a not so great spot. But we'll see what else they got here. They got their own Mew now to put on the bench. Maybe they're gonna strafe into the Mew. But they only have like 1 VMAX left to work with, so we don't have to worry about like back-to-back VMAXs or anything. No, but they're going to 100 Furious Blows, so if we get this KO, I don't want to say we just win the game, but we're in a really, really good spot. Let's see what we top deck here. The Bird Keeper, so I think we're going to start with that Stellar Wish. Boy, not exactly what I wanted, but I could grab the Level Ball. We need to get to 5, 6, 7. 7 is the knockout on the Urshifu. So if I go for this Level Ball, I think this should give me the knockout. I'm actually going to go ahead and stretch out to the Jinx first because there's not multiple Pokemon I want this turn. I wouldn't mind seeing some different stuff from the Bird Keeper. So we're in a Bird Keeper. That isn't Jinx. did get the stadium a little late, but it shouldn't matter. We can build up some more spite. And they don't play a ton of stadium, so I think I'll probably be a little bit aggressive with my stadium play here. And go ahead and throw it out there. And then we're going to net the Jinx, throw it back down. Once again, move another damage counter. I'll probably split here. Seems a little bit better. Splitting up the damage. And I'll go ahead and throw this in play. We're not going to get any value out of it this turn, but they don't play a whole ton of stadiums on the Urshifu side, so I'm not saying we'll for sure have this thing stick in play, but it feels like it's in a pretty good spot to potentially stick, so I'm comfortable just kind of throwing it out there and being like, all right, it might stick. And we don't mind throwing it out there without getting any value out of it, because the chance that they counter stadium it is pretty low. Here comes the Mew. Still winnable, I guess, for my opponent, but it just felt... Here comes the Psy Power, and with the... Yep, there it is. Quick Shooting Inteleon. They can KO my active here. So my active Spiritomb could go down, but I've got a couple more Spiritombs on the back line to fall back on, and it's very easy to KO this Mew, of course. And then from there, we just need 2 prize cards. Ideally, we would want to knock out this Urshifu V this turn, but realistically, that's not going to happen. We have to draw very, very well. It is possible, just unlikely. I guess we do have quite a few switches and escape ropes left. So, I mean, we could go with something where we, like, send up Jirachi, initially use the Stellar Wish, and then we could scoop up Net it, throw down Oricorio, and then Dede change as well. And then try and get into a Spiritomb. But here, it looks like they're Marnieing us, so we're going to lose this... rather potentially aggressive hand. Got, like I said, the Oricorio plus the Dene combo was there, but I don't really mind it too much. The draw off of that, not quite as good, not gonna lie. So we're probably just gonna settle for the KO on the Mew here. I mean, we'll send up our Jirachi. We're gonna Stellar Wish. We're gonna see what we get, but probably the way it's gonna go. And then if this does become a VMAX on the next turn, it might be a little bit difficult to get the knockout on that, to be honest. But we could go with something like escape rope, and just like get around the Urshifu twice. We do have, yeah, we do have 2 escape ropes left. We also have boss left as well, so we don't actually have to KO of Urshifu VMAX at all. Nothing's forcing us to do that. They actually throw down another Urshifu, so this is something we could go after instead. Actually, just go after their other Urshifu V, because like I mentioned earlier, they only have 1 VMAX left. So I mean, unless they're playing a 4 VMAXs, but I highly doubt that. You almost always see like a 3-3 line in here, so I highly doubt they got the 4 VMAXs going around. So this one of these will stay as a 2 prizer most likely, which you can try and chase for our last 2 prizers and completely ignore their final VMAX, or we could 2-hit KO that as well. So we'll see how it goes. Actually, a really cool, cute play they can do here with the Psy Power is I only have 20 HP left, and this puts 3 damage counters in play, but they can just put all 3 on the Spiritomb and not leave an extra damage in play. But they go ahead and leave the extra damage in play, but we can abuse this now because we can move this off with Jinx. So my opponent should have just like put the extra one on the Spiritomb, because I can just move this off with the Jinx. Now I do have to be careful of the potential for double Inteleon next turn. So this is where things get scary in this matchup, because the Inteleons, without our capes, we're not doing a whole ton. We don't have a whole ton of HP to work with, so it gets a little bit scary, to be honest. I'm gonna start with Stellar Wish here. Probably grab the switch. I do need to find... I feel like I really need to find cape here, so I'm gonna go... let's Jinx that off first to there. Net the Jirachi. Send this one up. Bench a Jirachi. Switch into Jirachi. Build up damage on this. We're going to try and get a cape for it to protect it from the double quick shooting. We're hoping we do. Stellar Wish. Found a boss and a quick ball. I'm going to go ahead and grab the net. Like I said, we want to find that cape, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this down. Quick ball away one of our stadiums. And we're going to go with the Dene here. I feel like maybe the Crobat, because we can save that last stadium, actually. Change of plans. Net Jirachi. Send up this. I will put the Jirachi back down, and then Crobat for 5. Cape. Got the cape so we can protect all the damage we built up over here. We actually got a boss as well. I haven't even built Spite on this one. How much? 70. I have to build Spite on this one to actually take the knockout, but they can double Inteleon ping my active now. But I think I'm just gonna have to be fine with that. Ooh, this could get a little bit scary though. Ooh, yeah, it could get a little bit scary. Anguish Cry, because they can actually go double Inteleon snipe, KO my active Spiritomb, and then boss KO this one. That's what I was saying. This matchup is like it's like unfavorable for sure. It's just a bad matchup. As far as bad matchups go for Spiritomb, this is one of them. They have so many different ways to manipulate damage in play. They force us to have the Mew constantly in play. It's not even like we get past a certain turn or something like that, but they play like stuff like Karate Belt, which we're ahead on the prize trade. So If we didn't have Mew in play here, they could have gone Rapid Strike Energy, Karate Belt, double ping this one, snipe this, snipe something else, or even like boss KO, Crobat KO this, and we would have actually just lost the game. So this is a matchup. They put a ton of pressure on us to play really well with our damage, being mindful of, we need capes of toughness on stuff like this to protect it from the pings, and then they have the Gmax rapid flow constantly to help. We have to play with Mew in play the whole time, so we lose a bench space constantly, so it's a little bit tricky with that stuff. So far so good, but still plenty of room for it to go poorly for us. I'm actually curious, how many scoop up nets do I have left? I have one scoop up net left. That's not a boss though, so that feels pretty good for us. No boss. Of course, they could still play Tool Scrapper. They could still play a Tool Scrapper, which would be annoying for us. I think we could survive though. And here comes the Inteleon with that another quick shooting Inteleon, so they can knock out our active Spiritomb. Like I said, they can knock that thing out. They don't have to, although it sounds like it's going to be pretty good here, and that's what they're going for, is the knockout on the Spiritomb. This does give me a bench space to work with though, to be honest. So now we have a ton of room to kind of do whatever we want, almost. Actually go for the 20 on the Mew on the bench. Makes sense. Now they can double quick shooting Mew next turn and then Gmax Rapid Flow to win the game. So we have to win this turn. We do have this boss in hand. We have plenty of switch cards left. I almost just want to send up the Spiritomb, to be honest, because we're so close to winning. And they put this 20 here so I can jinx one off. That would be 7 to get the KO here, so I just need an energy at this point. But we have 2 switch, 1 net, but we also have 2 escape rope, and if I boss and then escape rope, that could end up poorly. So I kind of just want to send up the Spiritomb and hope to hit the energy a little bit here. Just go for it that way. Grab Marshadow. 4 energy left. Okay, grab Marshadow and put it down. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I didn't have to do this. I could have just Dede changed. All right, boss up there, Urshifu and Dede change. Do we find an energy? And the answer is yes, we find the energy. So we get the dub over the Inteleon Urshifu. My opponent had a really slow start, but that's what we need in this matchup. Like I said, it's not a good matchup, unfavorable matchup for sure. So take advantage of their slow start. They also put this Urshifu in play when they really didn't have to. And we're able to take advantage of that as well. Sure, if they only put one Urshifu in play on the last turn, if I have the Miracle Boss play on the last turn, I just win. But it was pretty unlikely I had it, I think. So I think that was definitely a mistake on my opponent's part. But yeah, slow start. Got to take advantage of that when we can in a bad matchup. Sometimes end up with the dub, even if it is a bad matchup. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'd like to go first. We can have those really explosive turn 2s where we get a lot of damage, but also just going first, like I said, getting a couple Spiritomb in play, building some spite, getting lucky enough to open one of our 2 Jirachi, or fortunate enough, and getting a couple Stellar Wishes off. Take advantage of that. And it looks like we are up against some kind of probably Dark Box. Could be an ADP as well. Viridian Force plus the Dark Energy. ADP Moltres, ADP Station Moltres, ADP something else, I guess. Use this for sure. Got myself a Tomb. If it is ADP, we really don't need Ordinary Rod. So I'm really tempted to get rid of this Ordinary Rod. To get another Spiritomb in play and start building more spite. But I also don't know it's ADP for sure. But I'm feeling like it's ADP. That the Dene starts really giving off some ADP vibes. So I think we're just going to go triple Spiritomb off the rip here. Could have gone with the Stadium, to be honest. And this might be a mistake on my part, because the Stadium is so important to find as soon as possible, to be honest. It really opens up kind of the plays we can make, the damage we can build up. So to be honest, that might have been a mistake. Of course, getting the Spiritombs online as well does feel really good, because it gets our Spiritombs online, which means we build spite faster. And that makes a big difference, or can make a big difference, in the kind of KOs we can take as soon as possible. Because not only does it have that Spiritomb, or that damage on that Spiritomb, but we can also build up damage that we can then jinx off. So just building up damage in general with this deck can be a huge deal. So we're going to try and go this route. Although I didn't hate going after that Stadium grab there with the Stellar Wish. Moltres grab off the Quick Ball, but here comes another one. Goodbye Weavile. So it is some kind of Dark Box type deck. Should also be, well, I guess the ADP is like a 50-50 matchup, I feel like. I feel like the ADP decks have gotten a little bit clunkier, which makes the matchup a little bit closer because it's more likely they whiff. But this matchup, I feel like, is definitely a favorable matchup for us. And we'll see what kind of deck they're playing here. Could just be Dark box, it could be what's it called kind of build as well, the Malamar VMAX. There's a lot of different builds that this could be, so we'll wait and see for sure what's going on here. But yeah, a lot of different things that this could be. Dark box, Malamar VMAX. It looks like it's definitely a dark box. So it looks like we're up against a dark box. I was incorrect on my ADP call there though, but I think it's a pretty safe call to assume when you see something with Moltres and then they opened a Dene. It's a pretty safe call to assume it would be the ADP-zation. That wouldn't be a terrible call, I don't think. It is not. We're gonna keep cruising. Okay, got a little bit lucky there. I'm not gonna lie, we got a little bit lucky there with the Spike Myth top deck. A little bit, just a little bit. All right, Celebish first. Gonna grab probably another Bird Keeper. Actually, we could probably sit on this hand for quite a while. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop up net this Jirachi. Send up a Spiritomb, put down the Spike Myth, bench the Jirachi. I want a Bird Keeper into Jirachi, I think. This makes the most sense. I feel like 3 new cards to work with. Another Wish. Ooh, we're already doing enough damage to knock out anything except the Moltres, and hitting the Mewtwo would be fine as just hitting the Mewtwo. So... retreats. Gold on a sense. I'm just gonna grab the cape here, and then I'm just gonna play the escape rope, and we're just gonna see what my opponent sends up. Maybe I should grab the energy spinner actually. Probably should grab the energy spinner actually, because maybe I'd want to attack with a region that has less damage built up. We'll see what they send up here though. We'll see what they send up. If they send up the other Dedenne, we can get that knockoff. If they send up the Moltres, I can't KO it, so we're just gonna have to go ahead and hit it, which is also kind of fine to be honest. We don't have to get the KO. It's just nice to get the KO. And then if they send up the Mewtwo, we can just hit that as well and just kind of set that up. The Moltres is sent up, so this is like the worst case scenario for us, I guess. Like we just get to hit it, but we don't get to KO it, which is not what we wanted. But it's fine. Throw this here, and English Cry. And I could have hit it for 30 more damage, but that doesn't even stop them from attacking with the Aura Burn. So if I'd been able to hit it for 60 more damage, then I would have definitely gone that route, because then that would have stopped the Aura Burn from actually doing anything. Like it couldn't Aura Burn, it would just knock itself out. So but we get some damage on play on this. We can maybe clean this up later on. You could also, if I had hit it for 60 more damage, I could have cleaned it up later with Psi Power as well. That would have been another play I could have made. Don't get that play, so that's fine. And we'll see what our opponent... They don't have any huge attacks to use right now, and they actually might even... They could even attack with the Moltres this turn if they wanted to. We'll see what they actually attack with, but I'm sure they're going to probably go into that Mewtwo, which we'll definitely want to try and get a big one-hit KO, although it is pretty unlikely we get the one-hit KO. It is possible, though. We already do have quite a bit of damage built up, and that's what I was kind of talking about. The advantage of getting all those extra Spiritombs in play is, you know, you have to attack with Spiritomb after Spiritomb after Spiritomb, but they are going with that burn attack, so we can play it a little bit slower here instead, actually. So I'm gonna go setting up this, and then we're gonna Bird Keeper into the Jirachi. Top to the Dark Energy. So we can do it different now. Oh man. So I do want to use this because I do want to draw into Spiritomb. I just want, if I can draw into that Spiritomb, I want that. I don't mind just getting back one of them here. We want to build up a lot of damage on this one. I think we'll start with Bird. I think I'll start with Bird Keeper. This makes sense, I think. Wish. Don't love any of these cards here. I think we'll go with that research. So we do need to like start research. Yeah. Go ahead and jinx this off to here. I think I'm gonna go with another Stellar Wish here because I really do like the idea of getting another Spiritomb in play right now. I do want to do that. So yeah. So I'm gonna go net this. Bring up this. Could even go with an escape rope here, and that could make things a little bit weird for my opponent. Kind of like it as well. I could do it after I Stellar Wish, though. We could see what else the Stellar Wish gives me, and then I could choose to do the escape rope, I guess. Got the quick ball that I was looking for. Okay, and then not gonna get any value off of retreating this turn, I guess, which of course isn't great. And I actually could have. I didn't build this spite. Or I could have retreated and then switched. Yeah. All right. So a couple mistakes here from me, but this deck is one of the most difficult to play, I feel like. It's hard. It's very, there's like a lot of little things that can potentially have bigger impacts. on the game. Sometimes not. We'll see what my opponent sends up here, and then we'll decide which Spiritomb we attack with. We're probably going to attack with this one. Oh, yeah, I made another mistake here. Now we have to send up the one with a lot of damage on it, which is not what we want to do because that leaves us, we lose so much damage here. I want to attack with this one, but I already moved, man. I already used my Jinx too. So, but if I had been able to, well, I don't even remember. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. Definitely not playing this optimally. Look at all that damage we lost there. We don't have to hit this thing for 250. We would rather hit it for 160. So definitely could have sequenced this better. It didn't, and now this is kind of the spot we're in, which is not great. It's not a great spot to be in. It's not terrible. We're not in a terrible spot, but could have been a little bit better had I played a little bit better. Here comes that tag call from my opponent. So the Dark Moon GX could be my opponent's move here. We'll see what they go with. There is the Dark Ryan Umbreon. So the Dark Moon GX could be my opponent's move here to take the KO on my active Spiritomb. And then we just have to go and research and try and find... Ooh, they do have the resetting hole as well. Oh, no, we can't research. That's right. They take away our trainer cards. We can't research. We just have to, like, build Spite and Chill. Would have to be our play on this next turn. If they do go with the Dark Moon, they don't have to Dark Moon us. They could, though. So we'll see what they end up going with. I assume they are, because they're using the Marshadow aggressively as well. So that way I can't potentially get any value out of the stadium, or I can't put a new stadium in play. Maybe they're just wanting to bump the stadium. But yeah, I would assume they're going to go for this Dark Moon. They definitely want to do it at some point. Is this the correct turn? Who knows? But I am losing a lot of damage in play, and I have no energy in play. So it seems like a pretty reasonable turn to use the Dark Moon to me. And that looks like what they're going to do here. Yep, here comes that Dark Moon. And then we have to decide where we go from here. So we can't play any trainer cards this turn. We can still play cards, but we only have trainer cards in the hand, and Stellawish can only find his trainer cards as well. We'd love to top deck a Spiritomb, I think. Level Ball will become a Spiritomb next turn. Go ahead and use this, grab a cape, build some Spite, move a damage off my Jirachi, and then probably just go ahead and pass is going to have to be our play this turn. And then we're going to have to try and get something going on the following turn. My opponent might not have a boss here. I'm sure they would love to KO a Spiritomb versus knocking out my active Jirachi. But they also might just have to settle for knocking out the active Jirachi if they don't really have anything else to work with. So we'll see what else my opponent has here and how it's going to impact us. Yeah, we'll see what they got here. Moving some energy around, of course. You don't want 6 energy on the Mewtwo anymore because it could get KO'd. We can one-hit KO stuff like the Mewtwo. It is a little bit difficult sometimes. It's a lot of damage counters to build up, but it's definitely possible. And I also play that Great Catcher in here, so we can use that to be a little bit aggressive at some point. And chase some of these GX Pokemon. They got the Mewtwo's, the Dedenne, the Weavile. They got a lot of options for us to chase. There's the boss on my Spiritomb as expected. Now we're down 2 Spiritombs, so I really want to find that other Ordinary Rod. We could win the game with 2 Spiritombs from here. It's not super likely. So, and we could also go for the one-hit KO this turn as well, which I think I kind of want to go for. So I'm going to throw this out, play this, grab a tomb. Yeah, I want to get this one-hit KO here, actually. I think I'm going to go for it. Switch, build up 2 damage counters. We don't really need that many damage counters, to be honest. We just need like another, get it into the active, get it to the bench, switcheroo, and we're really close here. We quite have it. Hey, let me think real fast. 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, we do have it if we get like a switch or a scoop up net off of this Stellar Wish or the next Stellar Wish. So we can do like this, here to here. I should have Stellar Wished first, of course, but don't mind me misplaying. Whiff. We got an escape rope, which isn't terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that anyways, although maybe I want the boss because I already have an escape rope. With the escape rope, net the Jirachi, send this. I shouldn't have used my Jinx. Well, I jinxed off the Jirachi, so I guess I did want to do that before I lost that damage. Maybe that was correct. Retreat. Can we knock out this Mewtwo though? We still have a chance right here. Got the switch. Okay, we're in. Switch down, cape down, switch to the other Spirit. I'm going to build some more damage here. I'm actually going to throw down this second Jinx at this point. Our bench is pretty cleaned off, and we got those 9 damage counters. It can be pretty difficult to get sometimes. Sometimes you just get there, though, and we got there. 9 damage counters, 1-hit KO the Mewtwo. We do go down to 1 prize card, so reset stamp. A little bit scared we don't have the Oricorio set up. We do have this Jirachi still in play with the Stellar Wish, and I believe we have a couple researches left. 2 research left, but we can find Quick Ball for Dedenne, Quick Ball for... Crobat's gone. We could get like Rod plus Quick Ball, I guess, get the Crobat back, something like that. And there's some pretty easy prize cards on the board. Got this Dedenne, and we got this Moltres with only 60 HP left. However, for the Moltres knockout, we do need that we do need that boss, whereas with the Dene, we just need that Great Catcher. We do need to build up a little bit more damage as well to get there, but we would only need that Great Catcher. We have a couple stadiums left as well, which we'll be looking for. And yeah, we'll see what we can pull off here. Here comes the Lance for the knockout. Okay, so I'm going to send up the Spiritomb. No, we don't have a stadium. I'm going to send up the Jirachi. I'm going to send up Jirachi here. Try and find a stadium, maybe. How many basic energy do I have left in the deck? 1. I could be aggressive here with thinning this out first, to be honest. We have a boss in there. We have the Great Catcher in there, and we have both stadiums. Okay, we need to build up some damage here. I'm going to go with that Stellar Wish. I don't love any of the things we got here. None of this is that great. I'm gonna go with a level ball, I think. Yeah, and I think we can grab our other Jirachi. Maybe keep these Stellar Wishes moving. I'm gonna move this damage off, of course, first before I net. We're gonna go with the net. Send up this Jirachi. I'm just gonna go throw this down before I forget. Stellar Wish. Got the stadium. Got the Great Catcher though as well. But we need the stadium to build. Wait, no, we got the boss. The boss. We had literally everything there. We had it all. I was like, oh, I see the Great Catcher. Oh, I see the stadium. Almost forgot about the boss. And the boss does get us the dub here. Well, our opponent's gonna go ahead and help us out. Make it a little bit easier. Anguish Cry, get the KO here. Don't even need to play the boss. Our opponent knows what's about to happen. So they make it a little bit faster for us. And we get the dub. So shout out to my opponent for being so sportsmanlike there. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for these Spiritomb games. Like I said, really like it in the current format. I think it just a lot of 2-prize Pokemon. The deck flows pretty well. Didn't really gain anything from Chilling Reign besides kind of the matchups, and Shadow Rider being the most popular deck, being weak to dark. Spiritomb loves to see it. That's really the main reason for Spiritomb being so solid right now. So check it out, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.